You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
This game shall be forever known as the Ben Gamel game. Whoever thought in 2024 we would start a Locked On Astros postcast saying that Ben Gamel was the hero that you all deserve tonight at the plate. As the Houston Astros continue to do what they've done all season long when they've played them, beat the Baltimore Orioles. Pretty good start to a 4-game series for the Astros as they shut out the Birds tonight in Baltimore. Hello and welcome to the Locked On Astros postcast. Thank you for joining me tonight. I, of course, am your host, Michael Connor. I'm with you every single night when the Astros get wrapped up, and we will also be doing a lot more than just that with a lot more than just the Astros, of course, on this channel. We've got Rockets, we got Texans, we got Cougs. And by the way, this weekend we have Texans action on Saturday and Astros action. You want to be here for all of it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and come on back and hang out with us a couple of times Saturday. This episode of the Locked On Astros postcast is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So, tonight's baseball game. 6-0 win? Yeah. 2 straight times they faced Corbin Burnes and absolutely obliterated him? Yeah. It's got me going. This got me back to feeling good, right? It was a tough end to the Boston series at home, losing 2 out of 3 to that team, a team that you'd beaten all 3 games when you faced them in Boston. To bounce back tonight against their staff ace, big time. And not only to have that, and we're going to talk about him in just a couple of minutes, but to also have Spencer Arrighetti outduel him. He did. I mean, wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. On a day, by the way, where the Astros are able to gain a half game in the American League West with a win tonight. They moved to 5.5 up on Seattle, who, by the way, if you, for some reason, did not pay attention to the news today, they finally decided after 9 years of not winning very much with Scott Service, we should probably fire him. They let him go. I'm going to miss that rascal. Even though he's a former Astro, I'm going to miss watching him get all hot and bothered about something that he shouldn't be getting hot and bothered about. Must stink. They think that that's going to fix things. You guys saw that graphic, I'm sure, during the game tonight, which was on Fox, and I didn't even realize it was on Fox until I was looking forward on the TV. I was like, where's the game? And I realized, oh, it's on Fox tonight. But I forgot where I was going with that. Scott Service. The Mariners. Oh, their record. I'm sorry. I just totally blanked. That doesn't happen to me. The Mariners' record since, the middle of June or something, they're horrible. They're like 13 games under 500. The Astros are over here rolling with the best record in baseball since that point, whatever it was that they pulled up. It's the accumulation of what this season has become. It's been an awesome season for this baseball team from the standpoint of overcoming obstacles. And if you are in the camp of you need to see them beat good teams, this is another time where they've gone out there and beaten a good team. This is a team that's fighting for the American League East title. I still think that team, that Orioles team, for as good as they are now, anybody can get hot in the postseason. We all know that. They're missing something, but they can get hot. I mean, again, the Rangers won the World Series last year. Come on. Anybody can get hot and win the World Series. But there's something that's lacking there. You're hoping that the Astros don't go overboard and crush them too early, then you face them in the postseason at some point, and then, who knows. But I would go ahead and bet on the Astros in that situation. The Bats, let's talk about them for a few minutes before we get to Spencer Arrighetti, because Arrighetti was fantastic tonight, and what he has started to do for this team and really kind of solidifying himself and looking like he belongs has been big development, and part of the reason why the Astros have been on this run that they've been on, where they've barely lost this month. I mean, it's just a fact at this point. They have barely lost in the month of August for a team that in the past has had some rough August. They are now, as a team, 13-6 in the month of August. They're on a pace to have their it's going to be close. It's going to be tight. Winning percentage-wise, June, they won 68% of their games that month. So far this month, it's about 68%. I don't know off the top of my head. I have to go look at it. And the run differential this month is over 20 already. So they're playing really good baseball. And that's the kind of game that they needed after that Boston game. The Bats doing their thing when they needed them to. I jokingly said it there at the beginning, but Ben Gamel, I know that he's not going to come in and play every day and be the savior to this baseball team. Like, that's just not going to happen, and you shouldn't expect it. But for a debut with your new team, he got on base 3 times, and he drove in 2 runs with 2 good singles. I mean, yeah, okay, that was nice. Jordan, of course, coming through with a hit against the Baltimore Orioles. Even if he was only 1 for 5 tonight, he always seems to find his way to doing something against Baltimore. Jake Myers, had hit an RBI. Of course, Shea Whitcomb drives in his first 2 runs of his big league career as well. You love to see it for the Astros. You absolutely love to see it. They give the support that they need to this staff. And what do you know? When you give them that support, and they didn't even do it tonight. We talked a bit about this a little bit last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, where they didn't hit with any thump. They didn't hit with any thump tonight. You realize they had nothing but singles and walks. That's it. They had 8 singles and 4 walks tonight, and they won 6-0. That's just playing good baseball. Also taking a little bit of advantage of a blunder defensively, of course, for Baltimore that helps get some runs in there. But to do that and not have any thump, you know why they did it? Look at it. What we always come in and complain about when it doesn't go well. Runners in scoring position tonight. Astros, 5 for 9, 6 left on base. You go to Baltimore, they didn't get a lot of opportunities with guys in scoring position. They were 0 for 5. They left 7 men on base. But Ben Gamel, nice addition to the club for the first night. Probably happy that he got picked up and moved over here, getting a chance at the Astros. And, as long as Kyle Tucker's out, which he's not accompanied the team to Baltimore on this portion of the trip, I would go ahead and assume that he is not going to join them in Philadelphia as well. You're not going to see Kyle Tucker until, I'm guessing, at best, middle of September. There's no way at this point that it's not going to be another month almost. It's just that simple. He's still not doing he's not running. Like, it is what it is. Not overly concerned about it. But it's a good night to kind of have a collective. It felt like a good collective team win. It wasn't one of those, this part of the team did this, that. Everybody pitched in. And it might not have been the sexiest, most appealing night when it comes to power or whatever it might be. And that's a ballpark now. I still don't understand what they were thinking with that ballpark to move those fences back in left field and raise them. I know the ball flies out of there like crazy. And, they wanted to not be such a hitter-friendly park. But that thing is a dead zone out there in left field now. An absolute dead zone. I wouldn't want to play there if I was a right-handed hitter, like, at all. And then the fact that that team is battling, and we talked about this yesterday as well, which if you didn't check out yesterday's show, you always can go back. And if you're new to the channel today, please hit that subscribe button. We are on the slow and steady. Actually, nothing's been slow and steady about our climb. You guys have been great about hitting the subscribe button, and we're on our way to 1,800 subscribers, and I just really appreciate that. I do mean that. Every time that I tell you guys that, I absolutely mean it. But that's a team that the Astros, first of all, need to beat because, you're going to need help from the Yankees losing. Like, we're just living in the world where the Astros want to try and get to a spot where they have the second best record in the American League. I'm telling you, it's in play. It is in play. Cleveland is falling apart right now. They're playing bad baseball. They currently have the second best record among division winners. The Astros can get a bye in the first round, and I cannot believe that. They are currently, it's a deficit. They're 4 games back in the loss column, 5 back or is that 4 back as well in the win column? What's the Astros record now? What win was that tonight? Oh, that was they're full back in the win column as well. 69th win of the season tonight. How nice is that? Tomorrow, number 70 will be nicer, just not as nice because it's not number 69. But I said all of that to say this team isn't a playoff chase. The Orioles, and I get the school's back, and I don't know if it's back up there in the Northeast yet or if they go later or whatever. I was actually having dinner the other night with a guy that is from D.C., and I don't remember when his daughter was – he told me when his daughter was going back to school. I'll have to find out. But even if it's a Thursday night, they got $22,000. They got 22,000 people there for a premier matchup of two of the American League's best teams. What are you doing? Why haven't you sold more tickets than that? I will give you guys every bit of credit. Y'all have showed up this year at Minute Maid Park hard. You show up every year, but the Astros are playing games in the middle of the week against bad opponents, and the place is full. And it's going to be that way the rest of the season. So shout out to you. No shout out to the Baltimore fans for showing up there. Just very, very crazy to see an atmosphere like that and to say, that's a playoff team? It looked like a Cincinnati Reds game. Whatever. Let's talk about Spencer Arrighetti. We also want to talk, you see it there on the screen. We'll talk a little bit later about the return of Hector Neris. Also, don't let me forget, when we start talking about Hector Neris, because I didn't put it on there, shoot me comments if you're watching this live to talk about Alex Bregman at first base. They're lying through their teeth about something. Just what the Astros do about health. But real quick, I need to give you guys these messages before we get back to our Spencer Arrighetti discussion on the Locked On Astros Postcast. All right, let me tell you guys something. Now, first off, if you've watched this show, if you've listened to me on the radio throughout the years, you know that staying active and working out is a big part of my life now. I get up and I do it at least an hour and a half in the morning, and then I usually get at least another 30 minutes in the evening on the treadmill. It's a big, big part of my life. Well, there's a new way to step up your game. I'm a person that is dedicated to it. And you don't even have to be dedicated to it yet. Maybe you're looking to get dedicated to it. And let me tell you about Tonal. Tonal is the world's smartest and most effective strength training system. It helps get you stronger, powered by AI. Tonal learns with every rep so it can deliver workouts personalized just for you. Tonal learns from your movement and provides suggested weight recommendations for every move with detailed progress reports. They even create personalized programs and workout suggestions or recommendations based on your individual goal. It's like you're having a personal trainer at your home with you, as Tonal will optimize every workout just for you. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Tonal.com and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $200 off your purchase. Again, that's Tonal.com, promo code Locked On MLB for $200 off. All righty, let's continue our discussion on the Astros tonight here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. 6-0 win over the Baltimore Orioles. Really, it was a cakewalk. I mean, even when they were sitting there not scoring runs early, it just had that feel. Appreciate you guys, by the way, stopping in and joining us tonight here on the show. I am your host, of course, Michael Connor. If you do not know who I am, well, I've been around for quite a while covering the Astros, back on the radio with the flagship station for a long time, and now with you guys here on Locked On. And very happy to be here and grateful for you guys joining us every night live on the YouTube page. You can find this show anywhere that you get your podcast. Go and search for Locked On Astros. You'll find this show and the Locked On Astros show. Brett and Eric, as I always tell you, they do a wonderful job as well. If you leave this show when we're done, head over to their channel. I'm sure they will be live shortly doing their show as well tonight. So you get all the Astros coverage you need, and it's on your YouTube or it's wherever you get your podcast. So always great with the Locked On Astros crew. We're going to have plenty of action across this channel, as I mentioned. Coming up this weekend, we've got Texans and Astros on Saturday, so just want to keep reminding you guys that. Spencer Arrighetti tonight for the Astros was awesome. He outdueled Corbin Burns. a guy who's been one of the leaders in the Cy Young race in the American League this year, a guy that's going to get paid a lot of money this offseason by somebody that's not the Baltimore Orioles. Spencer Arrighetti tonight was awesome, and it's really fun to see it happening in front of your eyes. He is turning into a bona fide big league pitcher. Early on, and everybody's learning curve is different, right? We all know it takes some time for these guys to settle in. I think what's impressed me the most is that he's handling this while doing, the absolute best doing this while he is pitching the most he's ever pitched in his life in a single season. That's impressive. He's never had this kind of workload. And he's getting better as the season moves along, whether it's them working on certain things in bullpen sessions, utilizing different pitch sequences, just the game plan in general. They're learning him as much as he's learning them, vice versa. I mean, just there's a lot of different factors. But you really go back now, and it started kind of in his second start of the month of July against the Twins. He went 5 and gave up 2 that night. Then he went 6 and gave up 1 against the Rangers. Then he went 6, gave up 4 against Oakland. But, I mean, it wasn't the worst 4 you've ever seen. Went 6, gave up 3 against the Dodgers. Went 6 and gave up 1 against the Rays. Went 7, gave up 2 against the Red Sox. Went 7, gave up 4 against, went 5 2/3, gave up 4 against the White Sox. Not his best. But then tonight, again, 6 innings, shutout baseball. 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk, and only allowed 3 hits. And he's spinning it. And he's finding his command on his fastball. And he's starting to not walk guys. I mean, look at his run that he's been on. At that start at the very beginning of July, he had 4 walks in that one. He had it basically from the month of June all the way through that first start in July. He either had 3 or 4 walks in almost every single start, dating back to May 25th, and even before that. But you just run through this streak now. 2 walks. He had a 3, but then he had 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1. That is huge. He only has 6 walks so far across 4 starts in the month of August. 36 strikeouts in his 24 2/3 innings, and he's got it pitching to an ERA this month of 2.55. He has solidified himself, and he has been part of what has stabilized this staff. And early on, I did not have a lot of faith that he would find his way there. I really just was at the point where it looked like, he's a young guy and it takes some time sometimes to settle in to being a big leaguer, and hopefully he finds his way to doing that. It was another great night for him and the stuff that he's brought to this team as it's moved along, and he's pitching himself into a role for postseason time. Is it a starting role? Probably not, but he's going to pitch. He's going to pitch, and you can't completely rule out making a start here or there. If he pitches his way into doing that, then he pitches his way into doing that. I think that they're probably past worrying about workload with him and with a lot of other guys at this point. So good on Spencer to go out there and have a night tonight as he leads the Astros more than anybody else. The bats did their thing, but when you go out and twirl 6 shutout, hand it off to the bullpen, which, by the way, gets through their outing as well. Dubin was a little bit dangerous there. I would imagine he is on his way back to Sugarland here soon, and then Ferguson behind him. So let's talk about that bullpen. We're going to talk about Bregman at first base as well, if you missed that news. But we're going to talk about the man that is going to rejoin this Astros bullpen, and I just don't get why everybody gets so bent out of shape about certain things on the internet. And this was one of them. We'll talk about that next here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business. Talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. One more message before we get back to our Astros discussion and the bullpen being added to it. And let me tell you right now, you love going to big games. I know that you love going to big games. I love going to big games. And let me tell you this, the way to do it is with the Game Time app. Have you not gotten yourself into the Game Time app? Oh boy, what are you waiting for? You can get into the biggest events out there going all the time. They, of course, have all kinds of great deals, last-minute deals, and all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. You even get a seat view, a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I tried to beat it. Dang it. I always try to, that little green screen there, I try to beat and sneak in my drink of water. So you guys just have to watch me drink water for a second. In my 100-ounce bottle that I drink an absurd amount of times today. Thanks for joining us tonight here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. I actually have a surprise for all of you tonight. So for those of you that are new to the channel, well, first of all, hit subscribe, and you won't be thrown off by things like this. But to those of you that aren't new to the channel, you know that this channel has a mascot. And I say that we have a mascot because my wife and I are the owner of, we have 3 dogs. And her name is Coco. And Coco sometimes makes appearances on the show. Now, I'm telling you right now, I have a surprise for you because this is something that has not happened yet on this show. So, real quick, just give me 1 second and I'm going to make this happen for you live on YouTube. Hold on. We have a second mascot tonight. This is Brinkley. She never comes in here because, as you can see the look on her face, she absolutely hates when I put the headset on and talk into it. But she's decided that she wants to watch the show tonight, and she's going to be YouTube famous too, just like Coco is, even if she secretly hates that her dad talks into a microphone. So, that happens. Thank you guys again for joining us. Appreciate you to do that. Thanks to Brinkley for being a good sport. The other one is down here by my feet sleeping, but the boy never comes up here. He just sleeps the whole time. That's Brinkley, by the way. That'll probably be her only appearance on the show. So, just wanted to get her a quick shout out because her mom will be like, "Hey, why doesn't Brinkley ever make an appearance on the show?" Hey, the Astros tonight. Or I should say the Astros are getting an addition to the bullpen. Hector Neris is coming back. Was released by the Cubs, outrighted through waivers. There's no team option or player option on his contract anymore. That was one of the stick-ups I think that people had with it. But when he gets released, there's no option anymore. I didn't understand. I tweeted it the other day when he got released, like, how long is it until he gets back into the Astros bullpen? And it got way more response than I ever expected it to. Was he the most unbelievable pitcher this year for the Cubs? No, he wasn't the worst in the world, though. Ask yourself this. Would you rather have Hector Neris pitching earlier in a game or Sean Dubin? Hector Neris. I think this is where the disconnect with people comes when it comes to. And look, I'm not in the clubhouse anymore like I used to. Last season, I was still in the clubhouse. This season, I'm not anymore. Those days are done for me. And I still text some people, hear some things. But Hector Neris had a big voice in that clubhouse. He was one of the leaders in that clubhouse. And I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but the Astros have a lot of Latin players. And he kind of was the guy that, first of all, he is very boisterous, so he's going to say things. And I think he kind of led that group with those pitchers. And he kind of led the pitchers, and Brantley led certain players, and Maldonado led everybody else. And they kind of had that work right there. But here's the good thing about adding Hector Neris back to this bullpen. It gets, no offense, it gets rid of you having to pitch either, like I said, a Dubin or an Ort, which Ort's looked good so far, or a Sean King. Like these guys that are AAA pitchers that are pitching in the big league club. Some of them don't belong. And guess what? In October, you don't want all those guys there. Like Caleb Ferguson, who they traded for. That guy stinks. I know he's had some better results, but like he makes me nervous as you know what. And yeah, Hector Neris is still going to make you nervous too. You know, he's going to go out there and he's going to walk guys too often, like all the Astro staff does. But I do think that there's something to getting back into an environment that you loved. He didn't want to leave. Getting back to a place that you're comfortable with, a staff that knows him. And I think it just gives the Astros more options, and it makes them more deadly. Look, if this team's going to win the World Series this year again, it's going to happen because their pitching does what it's been doing now for the last month and change. Going beast mode. Going back to why they won a World Series in 2022. Not that the offense can't carry them. It can. It can blow up. It's just, it's not the world's most consistent offense on a nightly basis. We all know that. We watch them. It's going to take the pitching doing that. And anytime you get more pitching into your bullpen and more veteran presence, a guy that you can pitch, like, say you're in a game and it's the fifth inning and something screwed up. You rather have Hector Neris out there or Sean Dubin? I know who I want. I want the guy who's been there, done that. Who I know thrives in those kind of moments as well. And it also gives you the ability down the stretch here. There's going to be days where Abreu's not available, or where Presley, obviously he's on the injury list right now, where Hader needs a blow, or somebody slides up. Like, he's not going to pitch in your biggest high leverage situations now, but if you need a body that day, he's available. He's done it. I think it's a wonderful thing to get this late in the season. It was a gift that the Cubs went ahead and got rid of him like they did. They did it for money or for contractual reasons, of course, so that wouldn't become a player option that he absolutely would have picked up, because I think it was like $9 million for next year. But I think it's a wonderful addition, and I think that the people that are out there getting mad about it, you're just trying to find something to be mad at. That's about all I can say about it at this point. Tomorrow, I would assume we will see the other thing that I did want to mention. Alex Bregman apparently going to play some first base. Got exposed to it over there today. Now, first of all, I know they were, great, he's going to play first base. That's cool. It's not good that he's playing first base. The Astros need his defense at third base. He is one of the better defenders at third base in the entire league. Like, it gives him a little bit of consistency at first base. Cool. They don't need that from him there. They need him at third base. There's clearly something wrong with the elbow. I know that he had the surgery. I can't remember what season it was, where he had the bone, like the bone spurs or whatever in here, taken out. You know, first base doesn't completely eliminate you from throwing the baseball. It does limit it, which is fine. I do get that. And he'll do fine over there. He's not a big target. They list him at 6 foot, and I'm telling you guys, I've been with him a billion. He's no more than 5'10". He's no more than 5'10". Like, that might, without shoes on, he might be like 5'9.5". No, he's like 5'10". He's not tall. But I'm not even really worried about that overall. I'm not worried about him picking it and picking up the position and learning, because he's a good defender. I'm more concerned that there's something real going on in that elbow. he could play through it. And look, if it was worst case scenario that you need Tommy John, guys have done it all the time where they need Tommy John and they still play baseball or they still hit. And if he had to stop throwing, then he had to stop throwing. And he just hits. It'll be interesting to see how that plays for him this offseason as well. So something to keep an eye on, something that we'll discuss how it looks. You have to think it's happening this weekend at some point, and I'd guess maybe tomorrow. We will see. Tomorrow they'll do this again tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, 6:05 first pitch. Hunter Brown goes up against Cade Povich. On paper, Astros big-time favorite tomorrow. Hunter Brown 11-7 with a 382. Povich 1-6 with a 577. Of course, after the game tomorrow, we will do this show. You'll join us here. Hit that subscribe button now. You guys have a great rest of your Thursday night. Talk to y'all after another Astros win tomorrow night. Let's hope. Right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast.